The Sanskrit translation of Atmamun is mind of the spirit. Atmamun is a book full of truth that can transform your life. The book's theme is that true happiness and freedom come from realizing the self. Some books questions you so deeply that it makes you uncomfortable. It is a book that helps you introspect and rewires your perspective on many commonly held beliefs. I highly recommend this book for its simple language and powerful thoughts. You have no thoughts whatsoever. You experience everything. You experience it just as it is, without thinking about it in any way. You are untouched by anger or any emotion. You act perfectly. Imagine that you live in a state of peace, a perpetual high, and these feelings remains unbroken no matter the nature or gravity of the circumstance. This is Atmaman. You have moments of complete bliss, infinitesimal moments in which you felt light, peaceful, and completely joyous. Such experiences are often discussed in the setting of athletics. Some have described it as the zone or a flow state. This is the state of no mind. No mind is the gateway to Atmaman. All of us are controlled by the mind. Man's greatest dilemma is that he lives in a prison and he believes that he is free. When you have likes and dislikes, you have a desire for one thing and an aversion for another. He is imprisoned by desires, cravings, preferences, prejudices, hopes, wishes, vices, ideals, philosophies, and on and on. Bliss is neither positive or negative, neither is it neutral. It is a state of equanimity. Nature lives in a state of equilibrium. It does not categorize or judge. To understand the fundamental nature of the mind allows one to transcend it. And once the mind is transcended, its power becomes available to the human being to use as he pleases. This is man's fundamental nature. This is true freedom. This is Atmaman. What is the mind? We become enslaved by our minds because we believe that we are the mind. We become subject to all of the turmoil that the mind is. The crazy emotions, the wild swings of moods, jealousy, anger, frustration, ennui, hope, desire, fear, loneliness, depression, anxiety. Why worship a god? Man will take any opportunity to avoid that which is most immediate in his life. He will do anything but the task at hand. He will look at anything besides that which stands inches from his face. If you seek riches, chase them. If you seek fame, cultivate it. If you seek to be a holy man, become one. If you seek success for your children, help them attain it. Do whatever you wish, freely and completely, without the guilt of morality. Become God or give yourself to one. If believing in a God is your way, then let be your way completely. Do not use your God as an insurance policy. To submit oneself whole to this God is to achieve bliss and master life. The price to attain God. Anything of great value has a great price. If you are asking for no less than God Himself, you must give no less than your entire self. Your manufactured self. For your entire life, you have lived as a slave to this person in the mirror, and it has destroyed your life. You are not you. The life that you are currently living is not your real life because you are living through the sheath known as mind. Aren't you tired of you? The single greatest obstacle to Atmaman is the presence of your manufactured self. The person that call myself is the source of all miseries. Remove this manufactured self and you will be as free as living God. Is your life really a life? Really you spend your life chasing things? To live your days invested completely in that which you love to do, your art, your passion. To live a hopeless life is simply the most glorious life of all. We live in a world of shadows and mirages. Nothing is real, nothing is tangible, nothing belongs to you, nothing is under your control. Live your life as a lonely stranger, as a wanderer filled with awe and wonder. You will live a life without the burden of hope, and wisdom and equanimity will finally be yours. Make your life a benediction. If there is one truth that I have learned, it is that unless you find it inside of today, you will never find it inside of tomorrow. A man who pursues his passions and experiences his life with complete boldness has no need to search. Life is to be tested. Drink it, immerse yourself in it. Life is the ultimate absurdity. You can create anything you wish in your life, but you will never make anything out of life. For life will always be life, meaningless, innocent, and indefinable. Become the greatest in your field, achieve fame, earn millions, and you will enjoy every bit of journey. If and only if you understand that none of it means anything. Give yourself to your life. Surrender yourself to your inspirations. Achieve all the greatness in the world. Life is not a wishing well. Life is as raw as all forces of nature. And what we perhaps must realize is that our suffering comes from expecting it to be that which it can never be. Life is not what you think. Life is simply a joke, an absurdity, a non-linear, haphazard and unpredictable trail that is fertile for the imagination of hallucinatory human beings. What is life? Play with your work, play with your kids, play with your wife, play with your surroundings, play with your happiness, play with your sorrows, play with all of those things that you consider to be your miseries, misfortunes. To intellectualize life is to miss it completely. For you will have acquired the wisdom to live life as a poetry rather than a stale and confining prose. Why your life is filled with pain? Because you live within this construct known as your mind. You look at things through the mind eye, and since the mind by its very nature cannot be satisfied, achievement only leads to need for more achievement. Prescriptions such as positivity, mindfulness, optimism and happiness are traps. They will keep you invested in an activity, an undertaking, a doing of some sort. No prescriptions, no tricks, no potions, no techniques. Simply understanding. Simply seeing the game you have been playing for your entire life. Human beings were not meant to be workers. What is the unbiased honest truth? The unbiased honest truth is this: wealth, success and luxury do not harm a man. What harms a man is the attachment to these things. Attachment is poison. Attachment is the source of all misery. Attachment to money, fame, ego, success, spirituality, even attachment to family and friends. Attachment is the antithesis of life. Attachment is the great debt. Man is a king, but he believes that he is a beggar who must work toward becoming a king. And became he believe this, he lives his entire life as a beggar. Nature created you as original. Originals are invested with glorious talents. Discover the talent within yourself that nature has been waiting for you to show the world. You are a creator. Give yourself the permission to create. Become a legend in your field. While normal may be normal, but normal is not natural. When the mind has a desire for winning, the desire is so great that it creates an anxiety about losing. An anxiety which often turns into outright fear. If we enter into any situation as a blank slate, we are able to deftly handle the situation. But if we enter the situation with likes and dislikes, fears and aversions, we become rigid and tense. Success is a byproduct of innocence. It has often been the case throughout history that those who became legends in their fields were often recluses, loners and misfits. Successful man feels that he is born to do it. He feels that this is what he was made for, and because of this intimacy with his craft and the innocence with which he approaches it, his skill level soars. Successful man is one thing and a legend is something altogether different. Legends see things in a different way. They are often rebellious. They feel uncomfortable with their ideas. Society is against the creation of legends. This society is not meant for legends. It breeds clones. It breeds sheep. It values conformity and hails mediocrity. If you seek to be a legend in your field, it will help you to understand that you will have to be comfortable being an outcast, for you will not fit into this society. And if you do fit neatly into this society, there is no way you will be a legend. If you seek to be a legend, bring to the world something that it has never before seen. There is something unique, and for nature makes one of a kind creation. Society makes clones. The truth is always rare. It is never found in middle of the street. It is typically found in remote corners of the world, for it requires a true seeker to find it. Success and failure are ideas that will only serve as a burden to your quest. Rather than finding the things that you can imagine yourself becoming, find the things that you simply cannot imagine yourself not becoming. The burden of thought. Thought stands as a barrier between you and the experience. When one experiences, there is no thought. When there is no thought, there is no mind. When there is no mind, there is Atmamun. Mindfulness binds. Mindlessness liberates. The concept of mindfulness is in vogue. Become aware of the mind's patterns and you will awaken. Atmaman is a path away from all paths. It is a journey toward questions rather than answers. Drop these disingenuous solutions, become a lone warrior, and set off on a journey to the place within yourself. No mind. The gateway to Atmaman. What is the obstacle to peace, freedom, equanimity, serenity, relation, joy, and bliss? Mind. Mind stands as the single barrier between ourselves and the life that nature intended for us to live. There is simply no greater enslavement in the history of man than man's enslavement to his own mind. The mind cannot be calmed or tamed. It can only be transcended. Once you get a taste of no mind, your personality will begin to deconstruct. The baggage that you have been carrying for decades will drop away. You will soon be immersed in the mind of spirit. You will think when thoughts are needed, and you will use the mind when you need to use it for your own purposes. Meditation. What you have never been told. Meditation will get you nowhere. Meditativeness will give you the keys to your inner kingdom. When everything is a meditation, you have become meditative. When you have become meditative, there is nothing that is done reflexively. Everything is done perfectly. If you allow your activity to consume you whole, you will be meditative. Herein lies the secret to creating masterpieces. The door must disappear, for once the door disappears, his masterpiece appears. Exploration of the self is a subtle realm. In this realm, the greatest currency is the sincerity, and the greatest tool is surrender. When any artist has had performance of their life, it was because they happened to dissolve into the performance. Word peace is a cop out. The greatest thing that you can give to the world is a peace in your very own life. Man continually flows toward the path of least resistance, and it is for this reason that he achieves nothing worth while in his life. Word peace is simply manifestation of the lack of one man's peace, and for as long as man seeks to correct the world, he will gain nothing and lose himself. If every man and woman were encouraged to address their own needs and their own issues and fault, we would have a society filled with wisdom rather than a society filled with ideals. If you are serious about living a peaceful life, drop all matters pertaining to the world and pursue all matters pertaining to yourself. Parents do not raise children. Parenting is a tumultuous because we believe that we are to raise the child. This is not true. Parents do not raise children. Nature does. Child is a mirror. In the family unit, there is the adult who is miserable and disappointed and stressed, confused. Child is energetic, full of life, joyful and playful. Child sees everything as new. The adult hasn't seen a new thing in years. Behavior in the child or the adult is a natural byproduct of the person's outlook, perception, and level of understanding. If you wish to raise wise children, stop being a parent. Abandon the idea of ownership, for whatever a man owns, he destroys. A child does not need a parent's teaching. He needs a parent to create for him a certain environment. And this environment will do all of the teaching necessary. When parent learn all these things, he will be drawn less to the control and the ego of parenting and more to the creation of an environment that will allow the child to never lose his way. Parents don't really love their children. The fundamental tenet of love is freedom. Some rules need to be set for well-being of the child. They are set, but they are set in clay rather than stone. What they needed was for you to be madly in love with them, that they would never feel the need to leave you. What they needed was for you to look into their eyes and see creation. A letter for your children. The worst thing that a parent can give to his child is his mind. Parent passes on him all of his prejudices. The mind is the greatest burden known to man. Family member must understood their true state of spiritual evolution. Those who realize this can impart wisdom. Family becomes heaven. Look into your children's eye and see all of creation. For seeing them in this way will give them all of the love they will ever need, and that will grow up in the glorious atmosphere of Atmamun. You are fast asleep. You live forever in thoughts of past and future. You hope, you dream, you lament, you ponder. I have devoted my life to awakening myself and awakening those gloriously talented souls who seek my counsel. These individuals have the world at their feet: fame, money, accomplishment, and there is nothing that can transform the life of sleepy man more than awakening to Atmaman. You have everything, but do you have peace? Human beings have become accommodated chasing mirages, and this is why their thirst is never quenched. Peace is not an eventuality, for it is only available now. Man's greatest fear is his fear of himself. You wear many faces. Some you show to the world, some you hidden in the closet, and some you cannot reveal even to yourself. When you disappear, your problems will as well. Equanimity, enlightenment, peace, nirvana, moksha, samadhi, mushin, they can gotten now. And when a man becomes nothing, he instantly becomes everything. Freedom from the mind. The mind simply enjoys the game and the drama. Our world of problems. This flame is simply life being life. And the reason we get burned is because we attempt to put our arm around it and call it ours. Let life be life. Allow events carry on of their own accord. Live alongside them, but do not intersect with them. Live as a man who roams the endless deserts and who sails the seven seas without any attempt to navigation. Life is jagged and raw, and by attempting to own it, you turn it into a problem. Happiness and misery are two sides of the very coin. The only way out is bliss. Bliss is beyond both happiness and sadness. It is a byproduct of wisdom. Bliss is the abandonment of the search for happiness and the abandonment of search for pleasure. Secret to instant bliss. You are going to die. Death is the greatest motivator. If you know that you were going to die tomorrow, today would be the most blissful day of your life. The insignificant elements of your life would immediately drop away. Man is by nature 11th hour creature. Break through the illusion that you have time. This will pluck you from complacency. Understand that you have a finite number of breaths left in your lungs. We are all quite literally dying, and this more than anything else will keep you close to life. All conflict is self-conflict. Anger is not a form of self-defenses. It is a manifestation of inner conflict. A rich man's greatest luxury. Freedom from the torment of the mind. Freedom to feel bliss and equanimity on the inside, regardless of what is happening on the outside. You see, the poor man has no time to feel his soul, for his first priority is to feel his stomach. Rich man finds that the greatest luxury that his wealth has afforded him is luxury to turn inward, to devote his time and energies toward tasting the nectar of life. The irony is that once a man achieves possessions more, he is able to perform his craft at an exponential level. He is able to truly enjoy the relationships that are valuable to him, and deftly those that are not. Become the god of your own life. Transformation is permanent, and it begins with a decision. Not a decision to acquire, but a decision to lose, to become the human being you have always wanted to be. You must be willing to walk away from the human being you have become. Walk away from your image of yourself is the most difficult and painful journey in the world. The path to Atmamun is the path to becoming your own God. If everything outside of a man does not happen according to him, everything on the inside can indeed go according to him. This awaits the man who becomes his own God, to remain untouched by anything that happens in the world. This awaits the man who becomes his own God, to face any conflict and hold it at arm's length. This awaits the man who becomes his own God, to produce a masterpiece with every action that he pursues. This awaits the man who becomes his own God. Nature is natural, nature is perfect, nature is pure, nature is whole, nature suffers zero turmoil and lives in complete serenity. Nature is living, breathing masterpiece. This is Atmaman. Thank you for listening.